Abstract Essay, where ideas take shape, thoughts find depth, and every conversation explores the art of thinking beyond the obvious. And today I have my special guest, one of our advocacy mastering leadership through mind body awareness, none other than Miss Jennifer Zach. Welcome, Miss Jennifer, on Abstract Essay. And can you please introduce more about yourself that I miss?
Yes, thank you so much for having me here today on your show. Uh, let's see. I'm the author of Somatic Awareness Leading with Body Intelligence. I serve as a speaker. I also write and then, just really enjoy coaching with executives and managers at all levels.
Yes, and thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to the world, Miss Jennifer. Thank you. Hmm. So tell us, somatic awareness leading with body intelligence. What is all about?
Yeah. So soma is the Greek word for body. So
Mm,
it is essentially body awareness. And the body knows before the brain does. I have a 3N model that I teach people. The 3Ns are notice, name, navigate. Noticing is the most important part. And noticing the physical sensations, the cues that the body is giving so that we can make more thoughtful decisions and co regulate and have better relationships with others and build trust. That all happens when we are responding versus reacting. We react when we go into survival mode, which would be a fight, flight, or freeze. If we're aware enough so that we can tell if our bodies are getting triggered, then we can respond with our prefrontal cortex. That's where our curiosity, our clarity, co regulation, all of those executive functions are accessible to us. Because when we go into survival mode, it's the amygdala running the show. We want the prefrontal cortex running the show. When we notice, for example, one of the tools, so this would be, so we've noticed that maybe our heart's beating a little faster, or we feel tension in our shoulders, our breathing. It can be any number of things. And being aware that naming it, that, okay, this is some sort of fear, dysregulation. Then navigating by simple things like asking, is this unsafe or just uncomfortable? The objective is to then keep the nervous system in a regulated state, or it's feeling safe enough. If we don't do that, then we're going to tip over into dysregulation into our survival response. And it takes a while to come out from that. And usually there's some collateral damage along the way.
most leadership development focuses on the mind, strategy, mindset, and communication. Why has the intelligence of the body been the most neglected resource for leaders, and what is the cause of the neglect?
Yeah, I think it's just culturally that, yeah, we've been taught to be in our heads. And, we've learned a lot more with neuroscience and what the body has to offer. And it's worth consulting with the body again, just because the body knows, a split second before the brain does. And so that can be to our significant advantage if we are noticing what's happening inside. A lot of times we try to think our way out of difficulty, and the best thing we can do is that becomes kind of a perpetual um, issue. If we can let the nervous system calm down, then we can reach greater clarity and make better and more thoughtful decisions for the greater good. When we're in survival mode, we're only thinking really about ourselves and we have tunnel vision, and that doesn't, it's about survival. So we don't have the capacity to be thinking about other people when we're in that mode.
Hmm. Interesting, Miss Jennifer. We often talk about a gut feeling as something
Yes.
vague. How does somatic awareness transform this form of fuzzy intuition into a concrete, accessible data point you can use in decision making?
Yeah. So a gut point or gut feeling, that's a great, that's somatic awareness. That right there. So if your gut and people, I have yet to find someone to tell me that their gut led them in the wrong direction. So it has to do with the vagus nerve. We all have a vagus nerve, and that's what connects the mind and the body. Vagus is the Latin word for wandering. And it gets that name because it wanders throughout the organs in the body. Hence, where we can get a gut feeling, or our heart might start beating a little faster. We might feel, in our throat, we might feel a sensation there. It's very um, individual. The point is to be aware of it. If we are aware of it, then we can do something with that data. We can then be more intentional about what, bringing the mind into the equation, and what is my gut telling me, and then to think about that, and and then talk with other people and come to, the right answer is the one that works, and that's a process.
It's a process indeed. How can a leader learn to read their body signals like tightness in the chest, a knot in the
Mhm.
stomach, a hollow breath, or crucial data about team dynamic or strategic risk long before the conscious mind has caught up?
Yeah. So my book is a great place to start. It is a thin book by design, less than 100 pages, but it really gets to the heart of the matter. I've had a number of leaders tell me that they've, and they can read it like in a flight or on a train, and then they walk away with concrete stuff they can use right now and then refer back to it whenever they need to. That was what I designed it for.
Hmm,
That's a great place to start. Taking it to
yes.
the next level would be working with me to integrate the 3N model into their day to day. And it just really affects everything. It affects building trust, it affects psychological safety, and this is especially important for leaders because they set the tone. And the more calm they can be, then the safer and calmer their team can be. And what that means is for then everybody has access to their best thinking, their curiosity, their innovation, their ability to work well with others and deliver high performance.
Miss Jennifer, isn't it just about how you carry yourself? How is somatic awareness fundamentally different from just managing your body language for presentation's sake?
It it's driving it. The calmer you feel, the more confident your presence is going to you're the more confident you're going to show up. An example, a woman that I worked with, she was giving a presentation. She noticed that she was starting to doubt herself. And because of our work together, she was able to ask herself in a timely manner, is this unsafe or just uncomfortable? What that did is it calmed her nervous system, put her back, kept her in a regulated state so that she could deliver her presentation with, confidence, which that also helps then her connect with her audience and her audience with her.
Miss Jennifer, what is happening in our nervous system when we are somatically aware, and how does that specific psychological state directly impact our cognitive capacity to make clear decisions under pressure?
Yeah, well, if you think of it about when we're in a dysregulated state, we are very constricted. I think about it like a garden hose. So a garden hose that's twisted, there's not, the water's just gonna trickle, right? But when you expand, and that's what the 3N model can do, and that's what, a regulated nervous system is about expansion. So that's like unkinking that garden hose, and then the water's going to flow. Things are going to be much easier than because we are channeling our energy in effective ways versus our energy getting used up in survival responses in a fight, a flight, or a freeze.
For a leader whose mind is constantly racing, what a simple 60-second practice they can do right at their desk to drop out their head into their body to reset.
Yeah. Noticing first that it's happening. And there, there's a few different things they can do. There's like seeing and sensing would be one. They could, look around their office and let their eyes land on something that's pleasing. That can interrupt the cycle and help calm the nervous system. They, placing, two fingers behind the ear and just down, resting there on the neck, that activates the vagus nerve. That can also help slow things down, calm things down. Feeling the support of the chair that's holding their body, the floor that their feet are resting on. It's all about helping the body feel safe so that you can get to that expansive space where our best thinking exists, where we have access to our best thinking.
Hmm. Miss Jennifer, what is a powerful somatic technique a leader can use in the moment during the high stakes conflict ridden meeting to calm their nervous system and prevent reactive fight or flight response?
Yeah. Yeah. So the vagus nerve, activating the vagus nerve, that is one, simple one is like two fingers behind the ear. And you can just casually go like this. That's enough to calm. It's a practice of finding out and that's why I teach leaders multiple techniques. So it fills their toolbox so that they have different things that they can pull from. Because activating the vagus nerve, that might work well for one leader. It may not work well for another. Maybe for the other leader, just asking themselves, is this unsafe or just uncomfortable? That might work for them. I try to teach very simple and subtle things that can be done anytime, anywhere. Another thing would be having a cool glass of water, maybe sitting in front of you, and just resting your hand on that cool glass of water because the coolness can also help, activate the vagus nerve and bring some calm into the situation. I worked with a leader once where she had a colleague that came into her office very, very upset. And she noticed that she was feeling triggered inside. So she acknowledged that she heard this person. She requested that they meet at another time. And that was perfect. Then they came back together at another time, both of them regulated, and they came up with an idea that they had never even thought about before. And that ended up being the idea that worked for the problem that they were trying to solve.
Miss Jennifer, as an author, what are your short-term and long-term goals?
My short term and long term goals, I would say, can be condensed into one goal, and that is to make somatic awareness known as an essential leadership. It's just as essential as emotional intelligence. In fact, I would say that somatic awareness is the cornerstone of emotional intelligence because it starts with the body.
Good luck to your goals, Miss Jennifer. I'm looking forward for more success. And what would be a piece of advice for those people out there want to be an author like you?
That want to be an author,
Yes.
I would I'll just speak from my own experience. This is what worked for me. And what I did was I gave myself a year to write this book so that I wouldn't get caught up in an overwhelm freeze. I had some flexibility. I did a chapter each month, and that with an intention of publishing at the end of the year. That was the right answer for me. And the right answer is the one that works. So that could definitely be something worth trialing to see if that is the right answer for you. But if you have a calling to write a book, write it.
Yes. Write it, people. Write it.
Yes,
And stop
everybody's got a story to
procrastinating.
tell.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Thank
There
you
is
for the
somebody out there waiting to read your work.
definitely. Thank you for that advice, Miss
Yeah.
Jennifer. And can you please recommend a book or books that influence your journey?
Well, I'm going to give you books that I recommend a lot to my clients, and those would be How Women Rise, The Thin Book of Trust, The First 90 Days, and Self Compassion. Those are probably the four books that I recommend the most.
Thank you for the recommended books, Miss Jennifer. And the Japanese art of kintsugi repairs broken pottery with gold, making it more beautiful. How does somatic awareness help leaders to see their own past stress or stresses and traumas not as a weakness but source of unique strength and wisdom?
Yeah, that's where it comes into acceptance and being able to. Richard Schwartz work, internal family systems, is a big important part of this too, and thanking those parts of us that have been protectors for a really long time, making peace with that by thanking those parts so that we can show up as our authentic selves. Our every relationship that we have with other people comes from the relationship that we have with ourselves. So it's really important to be the more compassionate and curious we can be with ourselves, the more compassionate and curious we can be with other people. We're always co-regulating. So just like emotions are as contagious as a common cold is.
Mm, yes.
So, don't spread fear. Spread love, and that starts with,
Yes.
having some love for yourself.
Yes. Give grace to yourself, people.
Yes,
And Miss
absolutely.
Jennifer, before we wrap up our discussion for today, I'm inviting you to please do listen to my other podcast, people, because my abstract essay is already in fifth season, abstract poetry in second season, and my book 101 review in fifth season too, comedy 101 in second season, and my food 101 in fifth season as well. Geography 101, love letters, movie 101, and music 101 are in fourth season, science 101, sex 101 in its second season, and my baby podcast, Law 101, Mental Health 101, and Bible Verses 101. Please listen to them wherever you listen your podcast. So, Miss Jennifer, if you could leave our audience with one simple daily somatic practice to begin the journey of leading with body intelligence, what would it be?
Okay, this is what it would be, and I often give this to my clients, is practicing noticing. Noticing. Make that, and attach that to an existing habit that you already have. For example, if you are, brushing your teeth in the morning, take a moment to notice what physical sensations are there. And it's equally important to notice the, joyful sensations as it is sensations of distress. That's all data for you. But notice, or when anytime during the day that you're washing your hands, tune in. What's happening in there? Are your shoulders tense? Is your heart beating fast? What's happening when you're making your bed, anything that you can attach it to, just begin to make a habit of noticing. That is going to put you on the right path to being more somatically aware.
Yes, and thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to the world, Miss Jennifer. And can you please invite our listeners to support your debut book?
I'm sorry, I missed that. Can you repeat, please?
Yeah, can you please invite our listeners to support your book itself?
Oh, where they can find it?
Yes, where they can buy
Yeah,
it,
it's
where they can reach you.
yeah. So my book is on Amazon, and just search under the title Somatic Awareness Leading with Body Intelligence. And a more comprehensive approach would be checking out my website, which is somaticallyaware.com, SOMATICALLY aware.com. And then you can read more about my work and still access the book from that site.
Yes, people, let's support Miss Jennifer Zag because if you support her, for sure, more and more empowering books like this to come. So, Miss Jennifer, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Monica, people, see you soon.